very real sense, Göbekli Tepe could be the place where mankind used the forbidden fruit of knowledge to end our primitive coexistence with nature and create the first human society.
It does seem as if Göbekli Tepe was behind these stories of the foundation of humanity being given the rudiments of civilization in this place called Eden.
All sorts of sites been identified as the Garden of Eden, and it is really impossible to either identify any
Christianity is a
as
myth.
the Garden of Eden or to argue against it.
The truth behind the Eden myth and Göbekli Tepe's role within it remains elusive. But almost 12,000 years after its construction, this awesome site still tells its own story of mankind's evolution.
They could give us the answers to who we are, where we came from, and exactly what was going on to make us create civilization in the first place.
We can only guess at the motives of the mysterious builders. Exactly how groups of primitive nomadic hunter-gatherers accomplished this incredible feat of construction remains unclear.
It's impressive that
Melanated people did that.
people that had not yet developed the technology for pottery or probably the wheel were able
And say
to
we're
really
melanated.
synthesize.
It's funny that they keep leaving that out, ain't it?
Knowledge of history.
A weather radar in New Mexico detects a fast-moving object.
Ain't it funny how they keep leaving that out? The melanated people.
I see many things in this image that make perfect sense. But there's this one thing that's just very strange.
You don't generally see a storm that would have a line of rain going straight out from the Doppler site.
The disturbing
Well,
anomaly
besides the
sparks a
hype,
major investigation.
melanated people and people in ancient times were more
Object, or was it some other thing that's actually flying
sophisticated and smarter than what was taught.
On a road trip, do you need power or optimum power? If that battery in your kid's toy dies, you are in for a long ride. So upgrade to optimum.
Yeah, we've been having a long ride as black people because we just left out. And white society is going to have a hard time explaining a lot of history and saying, oh, we was all together and mixed in. It was all in the Mediterranean, all through the Levant, all through the Asia Minor. We were so, baby, help me out. We were so mixed. Every race, the white people. What was the right white people ruling? Either before the Hyksos and before Greek took over the Mediterranean. What was white people ruling globally? By and large, white people, Caucasians. What was they ruling? Before the Hyksos. What was they doing? Before the Hyksos, Europa, the Celts. What was the Scandinavians that we call today? The Jewits, the Anglos. What was they predecessors? What was they people before them doing? Who and where was they ruling? What did they govern? What educational practices did they teach? How were they living? In ancient Europa, in ancient Iceland, in ancient what we call Norwegian and Sweden, in ancient Ireland, in ancient Scotland, in ancient England. What was they doing? CeeLo, what's his name? Stefan CeeLo or whatever? Milo. Stefan Milo is someone that depicts melanated people and our superiority. He keep putting us in the primitive states. Keep promoting primitive art. Just look at his channel. Just observe his channel. Anybody with any kind of understanding and information and knowledge of the understanding of information and knowledge of history, see through not only his rhetoric, but see what he's trying to do and promote. White people want to own it all. Our oppressors want to own it all. Not just white people because they're white. You got white people that will roll with us. Okay, I know that. But only because it's real and facts, not because we're black and from Africa. But that has a lot to do with humanity, being black and from Africa. But still, these computers are helping white supremacist, white society
have no idea what it
to
is.
keep up with what our ancestors knew before they even started reading and writing.
Some other thing that's actually flying out that we just don't know.
But now they teaching us.
Catching a missile launch, maybe from some military base.
Is it?
They don't know, y'all.
Is it something man-made?
But they can keep up, and I'm not 100% sure of that. How about that?
Weather radar works by transmitting microwaves to detect developing weather systems.
These air bubbles.
These usually show up as colored shapes on the
Thank you for listening to the Nubian Kinetic Spectrum Incorporated channel.
Off of an object, and how many of those microwaves come back gives us an image of what that object.
They are tracing, tracking, trying to find all the information that has nothing to do with them and their cultures. And they trying to govern it. They trying to dictate it. They trying to tell us
generally you see blobs.
our history and who we are.
You start to consider all the
And
things that the radar could be detecting.
people like Oprah and stuff is helping that. People like Roland Martin, whether he knows or cares, is helping it. And they don't understand that all these words and terms in education can make you not only an idiot,
storms, greens and reds.
but it can make you an enemy.
Visual images on radar.
And not only that, it is misleading us. The education that is given throughout this country, especially poor countries, is misleading. It's based on religious beliefs, doctrines, and it's based on politics. But when you study the science and the eugenics, when you start unraveling and study for yourself, you would understand the facts from the BS.
That's when the radar can scan right into the solar disk and get that energy from the sun, creating a sunspike.
The way things like politics and science and religion, the dichotomy of that is very, not just controversial and misleading, but it's cruel.
The streak's appearance casts doubt on the sunspike theory.
We know that this event happened a couple hours.
Those like Lakotas
and because
and
sunspikes require the sun to be up,
Pueblos
this would not be a sunspike.
came from dark melanated people that looked like our
Investigators consider
grandparents.
whether the red streak could be a telltale sign of a violent intruder.
Europa can get all the credit.
A shooting star or meteor
Spanish
blasting
and the
through
Mediterranean
Earth
can get
atmosphere
all the
in
credit.
Mexico.
Meteors strike Earth every day. And they come in all sizes, from small specks of sand all the way up to giants that can destroy cities or civilizations. A weather radar can pick up meteorites as they fall.
My comments and videos were rejected through YouTube because it had the Olympics
Meteorologists
in the
uncover
background.
evidence that could support the extraterrestrial theory.
There has been at least one occurrence of
The Olympics is a kumbaya fest.
Meteorites as they're falling. It's a very
And it's
kind of phenomenon.
a beautiful thing. I hate
all the time.
to misconstrue that, but it's a beautiful thing.
But the
To see
timing of the
people,
bright streak's appearance doesn't coincide with
Olympians,
meteorite sightings.
if you want to call them that. But
It's
see
very
people
unlikely that this is a
go
meteor
at it
fall, based on the fact that
on the morale of
pictures
humanity,
multiple scans of
strength,
radar,
and courage,
which means that it was present
and
for
other
more than
things
just an instant in
that I'm
time.
not referring
If the
to at
streak
this
isn't
point.
something from space,
But
then
the
it's radar
Olympics is a
picking up
beautiful
something
thing.
much closer to home.
The
A
politics
possible answer to the mystery.
and
That's when
rulers
investigators discover
corrupts it.
What's on the ground at the location where the streak appeared.
Liberalism
Looking at
is
this,
so
I see
associated
there are no thunder
associated
I see
and
that,
attached
this object is not
to the Olympics. Just pay attention
But when you kind of look over
and watch and observe
tracks,
carefully.
Guess what?
Don't get so enthralled with the
Is
fireworks
lined up with a map of the area.
and all the glitz and the glory. Pay attention to the Olympians, all of
Across
them,
New Mexico.
but do some studying.
Radar in my long career, and the National Weather Service.
Liberalism
It's definitely a mystery until you kind of
is
really
a
look at
key
some of the
component
aspects
of
where
the
railroad
Olympics.
tracks
I'm
are
sorry.
And what else is going around here?
But that's not a good
But
thing.
it's not quite case closed.
Liberalism
The railroad has
can
been
be
there for
misleading,
100 years.
especially if you pro-black,
Even though
because
trains run on
they
this
use
line
us.
Every day, the red streak has never been seen before.
And they don't just use it, they use all that we have left as a people. Because we're not getting the accolades for the technology. The Asians and everybody else is going to get it. We're not going to get it.
Other than the objects
We haven't been getting it now. History been debunked. There are some people that are speaking on our behalf and making claims on our behalf. And then there are some that know, like Mr. Forrester, and not saying it, but using words like Native Americans, the natives, the Native Americans.
This is probably done by hand.
That's black people.
No one knows who built the stone wall.
These modern Lakotas and Dakotas that look Mediterranean and these Mexicans look like her and all that,
Unless they're trying to protect.
they're new, y'all. They're only a few hundred years new. They're not hundreds and hundreds of years new. They're a few hundred years new. Do your research. They are modern, just like the modern Egyptians. You know, during the time of the pyramids, they were melanated and the rulers were melanated. Read. It's right there. But you don't have to be a brain scientist to understand it. But the brain scientist, thank you, Mr. Degrassi, ain't saying nothing. Thank you, Mr. Professor Small. You say stuff now, but y'all should have said stuff then. Sonetta and a lot of the scholars should have said certain things and made claims and went at it then. Don't come behind some Tariq videos and don't come behind all the struggles that black people and black people that think they black like the BLMs. Don't come behind that, y'all. Y'all didn't do no justice, Mr. Sonnet, and I love you, and I hope to meet you, and I respect you and support you. But y'all didn't do no justice, belittling, and it was like you was belittling, but not really going at it, not really questioning a lot of the history, not putting it up front. Y'all waited till Tariq video came out to just verbally and publicly say things. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't have to wait for nothing. I'm gonna say what I need to say when it's presently at hand. I'm not gonna wait for no group or nobody to tell me what I know the Creator has put in me. The Creator has bestowed in us all equally. I'm not finna sit up here and wait for no accolades and what's that, vindications, what's that word, validations of others. I'm gonna speak the truth, and if I'm wrong, just come with the fact. If I'm wrong, just come with the facts. Anybody with an intelligent question, have any type of concerns, please comment. And if you have any discrepancies of my channel, my comments, what I'm saying, please comment respectfully. Thank you.